Testing. All about the illusion. This is a professional studio.
Yeah, Mike, nailing it. Let's have some quiet on set. And then some bad mic noises. Can I get a sound check for you?
Yeah, sound check. Testing. 1, 2. 2 plus 2 is 8.
Fucking 8. Oh dear. This week we've got coasters.
Fuck yeah, check the coasters out. No banging on the tape.
There's still banging on the table. Okay, let's crack this podcast off. We are discussing what it costs to run a theme camp. And we're going to split it into a couple of different bits, but the first bit is talking about what we spent last year. A VEX spreadsheet. Oh, technical.
Just about read it.
We tracked all of our expenses last year,
Uh-huh.
and then they got pulled out, and we looked at them and did some analysis. Who doesn't? I've literally had a sip of beer, and it's flowing.
It's just flowing out.
Mm.
Who doesn't love a good spreadsheet?
Who
Seriously,
doesn't love a good
we
spreadsheet?
should have used a pivot table on this.
I don't know. My Excel. Anyway, the other bit that we want to talk about is then what the knock-on effects are for this year. So let's start with, I guess, a summary for last year.
It was goddamn expensive.
Yeah.
So done.
Let's maybe start with an overview. What was the total amount, or do we want to reveal that at the end? Oh, the conundrums of clickbaiting.
Let's just go straight in.
Okay, let's just go straight in.
Total. This is including.
Get up on that mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
close enough.
No.
I've got to be kissing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Total, and this is all up, including all of our personal stuff, so food and drinks and whatnot. $4,915.
Ouch.
Yeah, pretty much. We budgeted for 3.
Mm.
We fucked that budget.
Warning, there will be swearing in this podcast because it involves money.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that we should also provide some context to this. We are a theme camp of 2 people, and in 2018, we, or primarily you, built an entire theme camp. We built a structure which is how big?
Every video I've got to explain the size. You still can't remember it.
I can probably work it out, but it's more
9
for
meters
context
long,
for other
4.6
people who may be joining us late in this journey.
Smart house.
Because I hate it when, you know, if they don't do a catch up on Netflix, I'm like, I need a bit of a catch up. If
I always skip that.
Yeah, but that's fine because you watch back to back. I don't have enough time. I don't have as much time as you, so I like to. I'll dip in, watch a couple of episodes, and then it may be months before I see it again. I need those recaps. So not everyone has seen everything that we're doing. In fact, I had a message from someone on the weekend who's like, what is this podcast thing that you put out? And then started like looking at other stuff. I was like, I haven't seen any. So there's a lot of people who don't see everything that we put out.
Yes, Mum.
Bad on them, but whatever. Anyway, that's the Facebook and YouTube algorithms for you. So
it was
how big was the structure?
9 meters long, 4.6 meters wide.
Yep.
Think greenhouse tunnel.
Yep. And it was built out of
steel frame. Yep, steel
with
frame,
tarp over the
tarp
top.
cover, and then we made our own Cinebrah screen out of a gazebo sidewall and a frame.
Yep.
And then thankfully managed to secure some chairs for free out of a skip, which saved
That's
some
true.
money.
That was one of our first finds.
That was a gold find.
that was
and it was from a film school,
Mm.
which is even better. It was meant to be. A carpet we got for free, thankfully. It was a late night carpet raid one night.
Is that mic the right way round?
I have no idea.
Give it here. Come here. Let me check. Don't just show all the sparkle. Get that up on here, won't you? There you go. That might be better.
Sure? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a bit better now.
Okay.
Jesus. Right. So, okay, how do we break this down? So, let's talk about the structure itself because that is the biggest cost. What was that cost?
$2,069. Which I'm actually quite happy with, to be honest. Because when we were trying to work out what this is going to cost us, you obviously go online and you look at lots of pre-made structures. You cry in your sleep because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Wonder how the hell you're going to do it.
Yeah, because we based our design off an existing design
Yes.
because
It was
it was too expensive to buy a bell tent or, hire a stretch tent or buy
well, it was
the
more
structure.
finding something that would work for us. We could put up, we could transport easily,
Yep.
pack down, all that sort of stuff. The design we based it off was rapid deployment shelter. So if there's any serious worldwide issues, they bung a load of these things up and they pop up. But they're about, I think, with $6,000 each.
I thought they were like 8. I thought these things were like $8,000.
There were different sizes and different kind of coverings on them.
Do you like the way in an emergency they can afford $8,000 tents for people?
So then so got that, and it was the best design that would kind of work for us.
Mm.
And obviously too expensive. Like you got to bear in mind. So I think it was literally, that was you, not me.
I know, but you're still not up on that mic.
I think it was like the 2nd of January. We'd been and ahhing over it for a while, and I had been looking at stuff, but it was literally at that point went screw it, let's just register. But we didn't get approved until end of January. So we didn't start.
We were late.
We didn't start building until beginning of Feb. But I'd thankfully been spending a fair amount of my downtime just Googling stuff and researching stuff and trying to find out what would work and if we could even attempt to build something like this. And then obviously trying to cost up if it was even viable for us to do, because I could go ahead and build something and it could be 3 times the price for all I know if I'm not careful. So a lot of planning.
Yep.
Hell of a lot of planning. But
that's what makes things a success.
It does, and it's generally what I do anyway, because I don't like hidden surprises.
Yeah.
Especially when you're rapidly
despite we overspent.
Well, but that was other stuff. It's the little things you can't really account for, like you got to buy a fire extinguisher and all this.
Well,
sort
we'll
of
come
stuff,
to
all
that
these
in a
extra
second,
bits.
but
the structure itself.
So we spent basically $2,000 on the structure, which
Yeah.
was 55% of our total budget.
Yeah,
like
and
our
that
total
was
cost.
That was the frame, the tarp.
Those were the 2
screen.
most expensive things, weren't they? The frame and the tarp. The frame came in at about $200. I'm reading here.
No.
For this, that was for the steel. That's for the steel. I see 200 at the top, and I see 270 for the tarp itself.
No.
What? Where's the rest of your stuff?
The tarp was $542.
Oh,
It was a big, heavy-duty
I'm
tarp.
reading the wrong columns.
Wrong column, dude.
Okay,
The
so let's
steel
back-
was $400 basically.
So the steel is 400 and the tarp is effectively 550. But those are our biggest outlays, I think. We also spent, or you also spent, a lot of money at Bunnings on wood and bolts and straps.
Yeah,
It's
and
just literally
they're the
Bunnings,
things you
Bunnings,
keep
Bunnings,
going
Bunnings
back
on this
for,
list.
because you go and buy bolts and then you have to go back
Yeah.
for more bolts and then more screws and more
And we
bolts.
needed a lot of spares
And then you
as
take
well.
them back because you've got the wrong bolts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
That happened a few times.
I mean, we were also very lucky in that construction because we were able to borrow a welder.
Oh yeah, that was a big help.
We didn't really have to, because tools is just something that we bought bits and bobs, but we didn't have to go crazy. Whereas other people who are potentially setting up a camp may not have the tools, or friends who have tools like us who are kind of lent them
the
to
welder
us.
was a big help. Background, I'm a mechanic, so I've got most of the tools anyway. I only really had to buy a few bits and bobs.
That's fair. The biggest tool in the van is you. Okay, cool. So is there anything else in structure that you kind of want to talk around? Excellent. No, we'll move forward.
Not I can think of, because it was a big expense, but in the grand scheme of it, I'm actually quite happy with the cost we kept it down to, because it wasn't just structure; it was like the screen and everything inside, so there was more to it inside as well.
Yes.
And
But-
I think it came out really well, to the point that the Osh guy that year, Risky, came round and brought the council around to show how a self-built structure is supposed to be done, which kind of scared us.
I like the way they do that on the first day, though, because by the end it might have fallen over, so, but it didn't. We're very happy with its performance.
Yeah, I was proud of it.
So let's move on to our second biggest expense, which is camp equipment. So this equates to about $750 worth of stuff. It's about 20% of our budget. What does camp equipment entail?
Things like fire extinguisher, TV radios, because you need them for communicating with the Swan and around the site. wastewater drums,
Yep.
lighting,
So it's a lot
safety
of
equipment. There's stuff that we're required to have in a camp: fire extinguisher, fire blanket, if you've got a kitchen, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Because
So,
I guess
yeah.
if you aren't a camp person, you haven't built a camp, or you're thinking about building a camp, apply for next year. Put a sparkly promo. Yeah, I guess something to be aware of is that, yes, this isn't just a case of turning up with a tent and then letting people in. They are technically classified as temporary structures.
Yeah,
And therefore you have to comply effectively with building code, and that means you have to have things like fire extinguishers and signs and that sort of safety element, and then there's the components of radio, so we can actually communicate with people,
call in emergencies if necessary.
Yep.
Lost property box, post box.
Yeah, those sort of things. But I guess that those two expenses, which effectively were 70% of our damage bill, are now done, and we can effectively turn up and build a cinema wherever you want it.
Yes.
Just phone us. We'll put up a cinema.
That's actually where it's important to plan, because I purposely designed this thing so it was, one, a cinema we could use, but two, it could be packed down and transported very easily and stored in our garage, because there's not a lot of room in there at the moment.
Yeah.
So being able to pack down
I think the other credit for you was the fact that we don't need a lot of equipment to put it together. Like there's two of us.
two people,
we can put it together.
A couple of hours.
Yeah, but it's not even the time. Yeah, the time is good. I think it was probably maybe a little bit longer than a couple of hours.
Well, to get the bulk of the structure.
The bulk
over,
up. But it's also the fact that I think potentially for camps, especially for the larger camps, one of the big issues is working at height and needing tools and equipment to lift things. And this is a structure which can take probably about 20 to 30 people, depending on seat layout. And yet we don't need to really have anything other than a set of spanners, a drill, and a
hammer to put the pegs in.
Hammer and a chair to stand on, or safety ladder.
No, it was totally a chair, dude.
Yeah, it was a chair. But that's the height that you're working at. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I can stand up and touch the roof, the top of the roof. Yeah. You can't. You're too small.
But there was the other reason for the height thing and the size was there are specific requirements, and they're council requirements, and obviously Blazers as well. But if it's over a certain footprint, which I think is
I want
50 square meters, 50
square meters.
And if it's, so that's kind of the main thing, but if it's over 3 meters high, I don't think there's a width, but I think it's more height and for the footprint, and it can hold X amount of people as well.
Yep.
You have to get an engineer to sign off. Now, when you're trying to build something very late in the piece, don't really want to have to faff around trying to find an engineer to sign this thing off, because you need to kind of do that in advance, because basically an engineer's putting their name to your structure and their liability on it. So we purposely designed,
they're likely to charge you as well. So it's an addition. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad cost, but I'm saying it's an additional cost,
which I now know is going to be $300 to $500 depending on the size of your structure. So I deliberately designed it under spec, so it didn't need that. There's still a risk Blaze might walk along and say, no, we still want that signed off because your design looks a bit funky. But ours was solid. It went through fine, and it was all approved, and they liked it. I think did we do a PowerPoint presentation?
No, we didn't do.
We didn't do on that one.
We didn't do a PowerPoint.
I know we did. I know I self-taught myself AutoCAD, so I think the pretty AutoCAD designs impressed them. But that was mainly because it's a half of a dodecahedron, because I wanted straight sections rather than trying to bend steel, which is going to be a pain in the bum. So avoid that. Don't do that. So I needed to get the angles right. So AutoCAD, very handy tool if you can use it.
I think that's probably in the line of Burning Man and Blazing Swan, is like, if you don't know something, you got to learn it.
Yeah.
So moving on to our 13.58% cost. So we spent $500 on transport, and that's a relatively. I mean, pretty much all of that cost came to just hiring a trailer, which is annoying. Because it's trailer and fuel effectively. We spent $300 and a change on the trailer, and then the rest is just fuel getting. Basically, we had two vehicles down there,
and that wasn't planned.
No, we had actually
we
planned
were
for
going to do
one.
in my Fort territory and then the trailer, but unfortunately couldn't fit it all in.
Yeah. Well, that whole pack up was a bit of a schmozzle, actually, because we expected to pack a lot quicker than we did. And we actually ended up staying an additional day in Perth before we moved out because we were delayed.
Playing Jenga,
trying to get everything in, and then took 2 vehicles. But I think the thing with the trailer is that it is annoying that you spend $300 that effectively this thing sits in a field
doing nothing
for 10 days
just
or something,
burning a hole in your wallet,
just costing money, which is annoying. And I guess other people have, got other vehicles.
If you're lucky enough to own a trailer, and got somewhere to store it, it's great. But
But you need the right trailer as well. Like for us specifically, we needed something with sides so that we could kind of contain everything. It's not just a a flat back.
And also limited on this is you got to think ahead. Like limited on what my car can tow a bigger trailer, but my tow ball is not rated for a bigger trailer.
And I had a more sporty mobile at the time, and that was useless at moving stuff.
Yeah.
So those we've kind of covered. The big chunks, the 2 at the end, so the remaining maths, 9, 10, 11% were basically some additional pieces, which were some stuff around filming, because obviously we're a filming camp. We bought some pre-made assets, pre-made music and stuff like that. There's not really too much in there to sort of discuss. The biggest cost was just actually buying a hard drive, so we actually had backups on site because we did have a small boo-boo.
Oh, you want to talk about that now?
No, I don't want to talk about that. It wasn't good. We lost all our footage before we went there, and why do you bring this up?
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up this time.
I'm going to make you keep explaining floor space if you're going to keep me explaining the fact that we lost footage. But yeah, we wanted a hard drive so that we could back up stuff on site that was just separate, so we spent a bit of money on that. The final bit of cost is really around camp, food and drink, and we have separated out the personal side of things. So this is purely stuff that we basically gifted to other people. So we spent literally $150, which in the great scheme of things sounds like absolutely nothing.
No, but it was
predominantly just cocktails that we.
Well, that was Jingle Juice.
Good old. I'm looking forward. I tell you,
I will admit,
some people
I'm pretty sure
I'm looking
because
forward
they
to
were
Jingle
3 litre
Juice.
containers, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So we met. I think I did 2 or 3 at the camp. It's about 9
I
litres.
drank 1 on my own.
And I'm pretty sure we walked around with a few of them ourselves at the night. So I'd say half of that was gifted, and the rest.
No, I think we have done a split on that. So that there is a.
Oh, you split out?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I split the Jingle Juice in half. So yeah. So overall, am I reading the spreadsheet right? That comes to $3,724 for the entire camp,
which isn't far off our budget.
No, it's not too bad, but it's still.
But we were
thinking
our budget was going to include all of the food and stuff as well.
And the other thing that we'll mention that is 100% self-funded. That year we were too late for theme camp grants, which in the end got moved. We
were far too late for theme camp grants, but then everyone donated their grants to
getting power.
Get the power sorted out, and then unfortunately we didn't get the new theme camp grant because if you're a new theme camp back then anyway. You got a small extra grant, so we were given free power.
Yep, and we didn't run any fundraisers or anything like that. So
we have no time.
It's a good chunk, to basically spend there. Let's talk about personal, because I think that's kind of probably interesting for people. We broke it into food and drink, which totaled. I've got $660 here.
Yeah.
Whew, how does that break down?
For 2 people.
For 2 people. Although the other thing we should mention is we did come back with.
We came back with food as well.
We came back with food and drink.
We bulk
I don't think we ran out of beer.
Stuff. No. Good old Emu. That was all gone. We came back with that brewed lemon.
That was this.
We got this brewed lemon. It's like super strong, but it's a struggle to get through a can of it. I think we've got 3 or 4 cans left. I'm kind of considering we might gift that away to people.
Shush! Don't spoil it for them. Come to our camp and have free drink. So, I think the food was actually the predominant. I'm trying to see where's the booze. Oh, there it is. So we spent about $130 on booze for us. which was predominantly beer, I think, and then it was predominantly beer.
It was mostly beer, yeah.
Because I think any spirits we took would have been our
Well,
own.
it was like, again, it was easier to carry around, and obviously don't want to be using glass because glass is a no-no.
Yep.
And you can just squash the cans up and bag them up when you get back and dispose of them nice and easily. Not on site, obviously. But.
The final cost, about $530 on. I love this section, miscellaneous.
You've always got to have a miscellaneous section.
There's always
on
a
a spreadsheet.
miscellaneous section, and when the miscellaneous section becomes the third biggest thing, then you're like, oh, what's in there? But I guess like we did buy some costumes, we did build some stuff, but it's all like that's the personal side of it, and the personal side equates to about $1,200. So cool. So that kind of covers all of 2018's costs.
Yeah.
Should we take a quick run at like things we're looking at from a cost perspective, as this is the financial episode? Man, if only we had like a better singer on this show.
We need a jingle.
We need a jingle. I'll work on it in the spare time. Things that are changing. So I guess let's run through this quickly. Structure costs are effectively, we have built something.
Yeah.
However,
there are issues.
As per the last episode,
go
back and watch that one or listen to it if you.
We had some issues. We were building a monkey hut over the structure, kind of trying to budget this to a max of 500, but I think I should be able to get it under. It's basically, I think the bulk of the price is probably the PVC pipe, but I've recently found a place quite down the road. Actually, it's quite handy that will deliver as well. That's cheaper than Bunnings, so. It should be okay. I mean, I want to keep it as cheap as possible because we're trying to really keep the cost down this year.
Yeah, which is a reason. I mean, we talked about it in the last episode, but that's a reason why we scrapped a fair bit of the camp. Was there's a cost element, but there's also a time element on it.
Yeah,
and this kind of equates to both.
Yeah.
Camp equipment. Are we going to have to? I don't think we're going to have to buy.
We shouldn't need to buy anything really. Pretty sure we had everything we needed, and we won't need to do it again. I mean, I can't think. Well, no, actually, no. There was some power issues. We had power tricks. So apparently, when you're running an editing computer, a projector, a fridge freezer,
an aircon
and the aircon unit at the same time, the 10-amp breaker box cannot quite cope, and occasionally tripped out. So, we do need another RCD, but. We might be borrowing one, so we might have to buy it.
Because this year we're looking at running more power cables into the camp. We ran one last year, and as Andy alluded to, it tripped a few times.
I don't think it was so much the cable; it was just the RCD. It was just running high on the.
It is, but it's like if we can split the power coming into the camp and just run some stuff on some on another. We've also expanded the camp with regards to numbers of people.
Yes.
So we're also looking at a couple of different areas within the camp. So those will need power, and also we have Project Box. Do you know about Project Box?
No. There's no Project Box! No, I'm not talking about Project Box. Project Box gave me sunburn on the weekend again.
Oh, dear.
I got a nice singlet tan brewing.
I keep telling you, put sunscreen on. Anyway, Project Box also needs its own power source because...
That's a hint. We've not talked about that being powered before.
Oh, jeez.
Bombshell.
Just giving stuff away left, right and centre. handing out the... Mate... Now that you know it's powered, that's just narrowed down the field of what the hell is Project Box.
I think the last Insta photo was probably the biggest photo we've done of the thing.
Oh, there's a tease. Go check out that on Instagram.
Yeah, you should follow us on Insta.
Yeah, I'll put a handle down here. Oh, now I have to edit that in. God damn. Okay. So power is probably the only thing with that sort of camp cost that's changing.
Pretty much, yeah.
But transport.
Oh yes, so.
Oh, he gets excited.
I am.
Like lorry driver.
I spent about an hour last night trying to work out the miles per gallon, kilometers per gallon of this bloody truck.
So let's start with the issue is from last year.
Last year,
well, why are we changing?
Because my car was really slightly overloaded.
It's also underpowered.
It's not underpowered. Don't diss the territory, dude.
It's powered by Gophers. Hopes and dreams got you up the hill.
Yeah, look, my whole car was full. The trailer was full. We had to take Bruce's car as well. It was just a squeeze. There was a slight risk of rain on the way down, so we had to stop we felt like every half an hour to tie the bloody tarp back on because it kept blowing off.
Yeah, that's true. We had some
It was
bad
just
securing
annoying
of that.
and trying to fit everything in, squeeze everything in. So this year, it's quite funny. While we were moving house a while back, I fluttered my eyelashes at the girl down at the hire place and said,
I think you had mascara on at the time.
"How much would it cost for a moving truck for long periods?" She's like, "I'll give you business rates." So we've got a moving truck, and to keep the cost down even more, we're actually splitting the cost of that with 2 other camps.
Oh, I thought we were doing that for environmental reasons.
No, it's solely the
Solid
wallet.
cost.
It's totally the wallet. Because aiding and abetting and Danceopia, we're basically going to just squeeze everything in.
Don't follow those guys. Just follow us.
Yeah, just all us. So yeah, we're going to split the cost of the moving truck and the cost of the fuel. Contacted them all last night. They all seem to be fairly happy with the rough cost I've put. It really depends how much room they take on the truck. It's kind of ballpark, but I'm pretty sure looking at the list, I'm actually worried Danceopia might have more stuff than we have, but we'll.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, there's a list, and I know what we've got. I haven't seen that, so. But
They have an inventory list. I was like,
Yeah, I know. I'm well impressed with that.
yeah, but we don't have one.
We don't. Yeah,
Do we need to have one? I think it's because they're storing stuff in different locations, and they're a wider group as well. So they also marked who owns what.
I think
So
we should have an inventory list because if we ever break up, it'll make it so much easier.
We're never breaking up.
Oh,
Oh, smashing all the mics. Yeah. So does that cover transport? Like, I think so. We're basically getting a truck. I think that's
the cost of the transport.
You can if you want. Get up on that mic though for me.
It's about. I think it's 11. Well, I quoted it for 12 days. But
What did you tell the other people before you lie on camera about what we're
There's
actually?
no lies. I'm totally open. I told them $900 because I want to do it in 11 days.
Yeah.
So we'll split that. I think if I have to fill the tank and if the truck's full, I might have to. But it's about $240 to fill the tank.
I think it's a more sensible way. Again, that is going to be an asset that just sits on site. However,
and extra bonus, it won't be sat on site doing nothing because
Yeah.
it's going to be our kitchen in case it rains.
unless we set fire to it, and then it definitely wasn't us.
No, it totally wasn't us.
Someone else.
Someone
set
else.
fire to
Yeah. No, it'll be our kitchen, and I'm thinking I might even put the shower in there.
Oh, that'll be classy.
I know, right? Well, it's quite cool because it's high off the ground. I can actually drain.
I don't think you're going to need a shower.
tank.
You just go outside. It's going to be raining this place, I reckon.
No, it'll be sunny. Someone put
no,
a
so.
weather report up. It looked awesome.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
2 months away.
I don't-
What's not to
What's not
believe?
accurate
Like,
about that?
It's going to be totally hot and sunny. I think one day it said extra sunny.
Wow. What was it? No, it was abundant sunshine.
Abundant sunshine.
I was
that
like,
it.
who says abundant sunshine?
On the weather report.
Just the Lord handing out the good stuff. Have some rays. So transport is changing. I think the rest of it now. Before we went on air, is that what they say on podcasts? I don't know. I'm no podcast expert.
Oh, can you only say on air if you're actually live?
I don't know. But there's people who say we're live and they're not, and it's like, you liars, you're not live. Anyway, you said before we started this that you had thoughts on getting the food. Let's not take the drinks bill down.
No,
that might expand.
The drinks, but well, no, we won't be buying brewed lemons, so that might bring the cost down.
No, that was cheap. That was like $8 for 19 cans or something.
No, it wasn't. It was like a 10-pack.
It was a 10-pack.
Yeah.
You just take the fun out of all of my jokes. Anyway, so with food, you were thinking what? Put you on the spot.
I don't know. I look at what we spent, and I'll now have that in the back of my mind, and I want to do better.
Yeah. I think
so far we've done all right. Like, we've only spent $230 on the camp.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. That's not bad.
I know.
So far, we're still
mainly because my tarp's on backorder and I haven't bought the monkey out stuff yet.
Built anything. I think one thing that I think about food is that when you are running a camp, it is important to be fueled because it is so easy to miss meals or just be having a few beers and then you're like, not really eating properly, and then do that over a longer period of time and you'll lose your gains. You've been down the gym, you'll lose your gains.
No, like it's festival work. You lose your bod, which is good if you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah, it's not.
I always lose weight when I go to Blaze.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
don't
and
like
then put
this.
it on when I come back.
And then I think that we will still probably end up spending some money in the clothing department, just not probably to the extent that we did last time, because we've been looking at more EL wire and stuff.
EL wire. I don't know what. I haven't actually looked at clothes yet.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
on
surely
the to-do list.
Yeah, I've only been focusing on the structure stuff. But because you need to order the EL wire on eBay, so
Yeah.
we'll have to get that order in quick.
Anyway, we're starting to move into the real nitty-gritty stuff. Is there anything else from a cost perspective? Or have we finished the episode on financials for your camp? Featuring Bruce and Andy.
No, that pretty much covers it at the moment. I mean, we're basically a lot more now we've got the structure.
Yeah.
It's now just a focus on keeping the cost as low as possible. Because
Agree.
we are still self-funded.
We are still self-funded. However, we should actually talk about this year. We have been lucky enough to receive some tickets,
Yes.
which have been distributed to the community,
Mhm.
which helps us
Yeah,
greatly.
big
So
time. Thank
you
you for the
to anyone who's bought a ticket from us. I don't think we have any more left.
Mm-mm.
No, we're
Yeah,
all
all
out.
gone.
Um,
All gone.
And we are looking, hopefully, at doing a fundraiser, which may assist us with the sort of costs that we've...
Well, it was actually a couple of fundraisers we were talking about. We can do them after Blaze as well, just to recoup anything.
It would be
from the
nice
first
to do
year.
them before, because some of the ideas are really suitable for before rather than after.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah. So, if you are interested in a fundraiser and you're watching this in a random place, you should definitely jump onto our Facebook, link down here, and stay in touch with us, because we would love to have you on board, and supporting us means a lot, actually. Cool. That was a good summary from you. Well done. It's
Really?
almost like that's good progression in the host learnings.
Apart from talking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
is that really annoying?
annoying. I have no idea how this is going to come out. Should we wrap this one up?
Yep.
Super. I want to thank everyone for watching, for joining. Surprisingly, we thought this was going to be a short podcast, and we're over 30 minutes, which isn't too bad. Yeah,
Wow,
probably
okay.
has the booze has something to do with it. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. We are hoping to get some guests on here and talk to them about their camps and that sort of stuff. But until that happens, it will just be us talking schmeck. If you want to follow along on the journey, then we do have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I think we're on LinkedIn next week, because... No, we're not. No, I'm kidding.
No, we should totally do that.
No, we're not.
Can I add Cinebrah? I'm going to add Cinebrah to my profile.
I really wouldn't do that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll be along in the next episode. Time to sign this mother or off. Cinebrah! That's probably going to blow the mics again.
Oh, was it loud last time?
It was a little over the top, but I've dropped the mics down a little.
I'll tell you what, can you turn the goddamn aircon on? Because it's sweltering in here.
It is a little.
I should have left the door open.
Yeah, but then the sound goes all over the place, all over our large mansion that we used, that we're siphoning funds off Blaze community.
Where's my butler?
Oh yeah,
I need a drink top up.
I think Drees is hanging around. My beer's running low. I'm ready for a swim in my extra large mansion pool, followed by a quick trip. Oh, I've spoiled it.
You've ruined it.
I've ruined it. I was going to talk about helicopters. Yeah, why do we? Next year we're going to fund a helicopter to just like airlift our gear in. It'll just like drop in.
Yeah, container. Like, you know those big Chinooks?
Chinook.
Yeah, like
a Chinook.
Chinook.
Chinook? Have you seen my Chinook? I've parked it somewhere and I don't know where my Chinook is. The fuck is a Chinook?
Oh, that'd be sweet. Playing the what's the music? The war film. You know the one.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun, dun,
that one.
dun. That one. You want to play that?
Can't remember
Wow.
the name. Yeah.
How very.
We'll be hanging.
colonial of you.
We'll be holding the hanging off the side of the container.
Oh, you want to go in that way?
Yeah, going that way. Just like, you know,
I think that you'd.
go past the church.
What happens if you drop the container, like, and then the landing zone's off and it just flattens like the one toilet block that's there, and people are like, what the fuck? Where
Destroys
are
the
we?
showers.
Yeah, people are like, fuck you, Cinebrah, you destroyed our showers.
This is going to make the bloopers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a standard thing now. Have a talk smack afterwards.
Talking
and
shit.